Hello everyone. Here in coordinate geometry we are going to see the next topic after distance formula, namely section formula. Section formula is one of the most important topics here in coordinate geometry. This helps us to determine the ratio in which the joining a line segment joining two points is divided by a given point. This situation is applicable, this formula is applicable in all those cases where points are collinear. Okay, 3 or 4 points, whenever they lie on the same line, they are said to be collinear. So here I have taken 3 points A, P and B being collinear with the coordinates respectively as x1, y1, x, y and x2, y2. I consider that P divides the join of AB in the ratio m1 is to m2. Okay. Also, you should be careful. In this situation, I have taken m1 in the left hand side of P and m2 in the right hand side of P. Okay, with respect to P in this situation, if I observe. So, how we relate all these things? Using section formula, we write this theory as x is equal to m1. This x, which is the abscissa of P, is equal to m1 into x2 plus m2 into x1 upon m1 plus m2. You see what is done here? m1 multiplied, we are finding abscissa of P. So m1 multiplied to the abscissa of B, m2 multiplied to the abscissa of A, their addition and divided by the sum of these values m1 and m2. The same way, if I want to find the ordinate of P, that is related as m1 y2 plus m2 y1 upon m1 plus m2. Keep in mind, this again there is a pattern 1 2 2 1. Okay, in cross way we have to take the products. This first value multiplied to the second abscissa and second value multiplied to the first abscissa. So this thing can be done when we give a partition with respect to P of this line segment AB. Okay, if you draw the line to divide them, then you can see if m1 lying at this side will be multiplied to the abscissa that side, opposite side. m2 from this side I have taken will be multiplied to the abscissa of opposite side. Same we do with the coordinates. When we are finding ordinate, then m1 taken from left hand side of P will be multiplied to the ordinate of right hand side of P, and similarly m2 taken from right hand side of P will be multiplied to the ordinate of left hand side of P. This point. Okay, so this is the basic theory. Now we will think its derivation. For derivation, I have drawn the diagram once again. But derivation is not according to examination point of view, it is just for the knowledge of the students. Let's see what I have done. P as it is I have taken between A and B with their coordinates remaining as it is x1, y1, xy and x2, y2 and ratio m1, m2. Okay, consider P divides AB in the ratio m1 is to m2. What is the purpose? We need, as I say, we need to derive this formula, this relation. So here we will take help of a similar triangle concept. If you have not seen that topic, you must see the basic theory only. That will be helpful here. What are we going to do? I have drawn perpendiculars from A to this PD and P to BE. All points from B, A and B already perpendiculars to x-axis are drawn. AC, PD, BE. So this way we complete two triangles A and PMB. Each is right triangle. Okay, and here angle N is 90 and M is 90 degree. Now similar triangle concept if I apply here, as we see that AC, PD, BE, all three are perpendicular to the same axis. That's why they are parallel. Since they are parallel, so here we can say that angles, this one in triangle APN and this angle B in PBM, they are equal, and 90 to 90. This angle is 90 as I said, angle N also is 90. These two are equal. So this thing actually in derivation we need not to say. It is just explanation that how we apply the concept of similar triangles here. So when we take these two triangles, we see by double A similarity triangles are congruent. So I'm sorry, similar. Using double A similarity, these two triangles are similar. Now, triangle A and B. Triangle A and B is similar to triangle PMB. Take care of the sequence in similar triangle concept. We need to be careful of the sequence of the vertices. So A and B is similar to B and B. So we can say sides are proportional. If sides are proportional, then obviously we can write AN upon PM is equal to AP upon PB is equal to NP upon MB. Now we'll think of these sides with respect to the given condition, like AN. AN, we have to determine its value in terms of the given information. AN, as we see, is equal to CD, and CD, this is equal to OD minus OC. O to D minus OC. This such a concept we have done in this chess formula also. Now length OD is equal to X. First of all, we can write this AN as OD minus OC, and PM, this is equal to DE, so this will be written as OE minus OD. After this, put the values. As I said, OD, you can see its length will be equal to this much, which is X, the abscissa of P. So we will write here X minus OC. OC, here this length is equal to the abscissa of A, X1, upon OE. OE is equal to the abscissa of B, which is X2, minus OD once again is equal to X. Next we come to AP. If I think of AP this length, we have taken the ratio M1 is to M2. So AP upon PB, you see AP upon PB, this ratio already considered to be M1 upon M2. So this will be continued as it is. Next, we'll think of NP now. NP, we will take its impression along y-axis. So if I see, I need to find NP, then we can name these points also like F, G, H. Then NP will be equal to OG minus OF. OG minus OF. MB, this will be equal to HG, which is equal to OH minus OG. OH minus OG. And once again, when we compare, then the value of OG, this length, is equal to the ordinate of M. Ordinate of M means this much length, and this can be obtained by subtracting ordinate of P. You can see this can be taken as equal to ordinate of P, and no subtraction is needed. Simply we can say this is equal to ordinate of P, which is Y. Okay, minus OF. We can see this OF, this is equal to the ordinate of A, which is Y1. OH, this is equal to the ordinate of B, Y2. And OG already we have taken Y. This way you can see one ratio contains X, other ratio contains M1 and M2, and next ratio contains Y. So one by one we will take X equal to M first. After that we will take this ratio of Y equal to M1 and M2. Now if I take these two equal, if I equate them, X minus X1 upon X2 minus X, this is equal to M1 upon M2. We need to simplify. By cross multiplication we get M2X minus M2X1 equal to M1X2 minus M1X. Now we have to collect the like terms. We have to club them, and here we see like terms means it contains X. This term also contains X. So the terms of X will be kept together, and we'll write them as M2X minus M1X comes left hand side, becomes plus M1X equal to right hand side, when we are left with M1X2 as it is, and when this term is shifted right hand side, we get plus M2X1. After this, from these two, what's common? x. So when we take x common, inside we are left with m1 plus m2 equal to, this remains as it is, no further simplification is needed. Yes, our purpose is to find the value of x. So we can write here x is equal to m1 x2 plus m2 x1 upon m1 plus m2. Now this way we have related x, which is the ordinate, which is the abscissa of P, to x1 x2, which are the abscissae of A and B. This way we get the formula and we get the value of the abscissa of P. Further, if I compare these two, equate these two, then the result is m1 upon m2, this is equal to y1 minus y1 upon y2 minus y, and then cross multiply, we get m1 y2 minus m1 y is equal to m2 y minus m2 y1. And the same thing we will do here also. We will club the like terms of y. So we get m1 y2 plus m2 y1. This second term shifted left hand side. This is equal to m2 y plus m1 y. And from this we can take y common. We have m1 y2 plus m2 y1. This is equal to, when we take y common, we are left with m1 m2 in multiplication with that, and finally this y can be written as m1 y2 plus m2 y1 upon m1 plus m2. So this way we get the ordinate relation also. This was abscissa, and here we have got ordinate. So this is the section formula which is applicable whenever points are collinear. 3 points are collinear, then we can apply them. I hope it's understood to you. Now the case which we have seen recently, this is known as internal division. In 10th standard, I cannot promise that this is in the syllabus, but we must know this thing. Here, what I mean to say, we have taken A, B and a point P somewhere between them. P lies somewhere between them. And the ratio which is given, M1 is to M2. What is M1 M2? Let's think of it. Actually, we can write that AP upon PB, when their lengths are taken in the form of ratio, we will find M1 upon M2. Okay. Now, with respect to P, we are dividing line segment AB. P lies in between somewhere between A and B. Okay. So, such a division by P is known as internal division. We say this is internal division. Suppose I consider this P not between A and B, but beyond this line segment AB. Let me show the situation. If I take A, B here and P beyond this AB, and the same ratio if I want to take AP upon PB, AP upon PB means we consider P as the point of reference. Okay, with respect to P, we measure the lengths PA and PB. We measure the distances of A and B points, which are the endpoints of this line segment AB. Okay, in such a way, when we find this ratio AP is to PB, such a division with respect to P, as P is not a line somewhere between A and B, such a division is known as external division. This is external division. As here P was internally lying in length AB, there it is externally lying on length. They are collinear, no doubt, they are collinear, but P is not in between them. Okay, not between A and B, somewhere. It's beyond the length AB. So that's why it is known as external division. And if I write AP is to PB is M1 upon M2, that means obviously this length we have taken as M1, okay, this length we have taken corresponding to M2. I am speaking here, ratio M1 M2 does not mean that exact lengths are M1 and M2. The simplest form of these lengths will be found as M1 upon M2. Be careful while solving equation, this will be more clear to you. Yes, now we see that if I have taken P beyond AB, this is not the only aspect. Here we can see if I take P first, A and P later, this also will be said to be external division with respect to P. Here also if I see AP upon PB is M1 M2. So that means we are taking the ratio of length AP and PB. But what is the difference? Here as I have taken P towards B, that's why length PB is smaller than AP. Here length BP is longer than AP. Okay, be careful. So that same thing actually will affect values of M1 and M2 also. In this case, M1 is larger than M2, but in second case, M1 is smaller than M2. Okay, here I have taken AP as M1, this is M2. That's why M1 will be smaller than M2. But how does it affect the formula? Somewhere, as I said recently, and I will repeat my statement, in 10th standard CBSE, this thing is not available. Okay, so can't promise that but still in some exam this may be asked to you. So how does it affect? Here, if I consider in external division, doesn't matter this case or that one, sign will adjust them. That's why direct formula can be applied. If I consider P coordinates as x and y, coordinates of one point A as x1 y1, coordinates of B as x2 y2, ratio as it is M1 and 2, then the x can be written as in this formula. The only thing we have to change is to replace plus sign by minus sign. This becomes M1 x2 minus M2 x1 upon M1 minus M2. Why? This will be M1 y2 minus M2 y1 upon M1 minus M2. Okay, so this is the theory about section formula. We will see its explanation through some questions. Let's start. Here I have taken first example of section formula is find the ratio in which the point P given coordinates 3 upon 4, 5.12 divides the line segment joining the points A and B with coordinates given 1 upon 2, 3 upon 2 and 2, minus 5. Okay. Now we need to find the ratio in which it divides. So for this purpose, we can draw a rough sketch. To understand it better, we are given A, B, coordinates of A are 1 upon 2, 3 upon 2 and of B are 2, minus 5. And also as we are told it P 3 upon 4, 5 upon 12. Then ratio, either you take just like the explanation M1 is to M2 I said, or we can take here the method. Whenever you are given a equation to find the ratio, then you can take the ratio required as K is to 1. This way only, where K is some constant, this will give you the value. So K is to 1 can be taken as the ratio required. Okay, we consider that in this sequence we have taken everything, A first, P second and B later. Then we have taken K, the first portion AP and corresponding to AP actually, and PB as well. Okay, so K is to 1 is the required ratio. We can write a statement, P divides AB in the ratio K is to 1. So what happens? As we know the formula, what is the formula? Section formula. Using section formula, what was the situation? X, which is the abscissa of P, is taken as M1 x2 plus M2 x1 upon m1 plus m2. You can see here we have to put the values. Now this, as I said, this is the abscissa of P. So abscissa of P is 3 upon 4. Replace 3 upon 4 equal to m1 is to m2 already taken k and 1. So this will be m1 means k. K. Now think of it. K multiplied to abscissa of other side. K is the left hand side of P. So we will multiply this to right hand side abscissa means 2 plus m2 I have taken as 1 into x1 means left hand side abscissa which is 1 upon 2 upon m1 plus m2. Obviously it is k plus 1. Now when we get this relation, our purpose is to find a value of k is to 1, or we can say our purpose is to find a value of k only. So this relation will be simplified to get that value. Let's see. Here first of all we will simplify the terms. We are having 3 upon 4. This is equal to 2k plus 1 upon 2 k plus 1. Now after this cross multiply we get 3k plus 3 equal to 4 to the 8k plus 4 into 1 upon 2 remains 2. Okay. Now simplifying and taking the like terms aside, this will become 3 minus 2 and 8k minus 3k. 3 minus 2 as is 1, it's 5k. Here k is equal to 1 upon 5, or we can say this is 1 is to 5. Okay. As soon as whatever value of k we get, that only is the required ratio. Now you can see one thing. Here we have used one value of abscissa only. No need of using this ordinate. Okay. This abscissa only has given us the value of k. Similarly, if you are using ordinate value, means the relation of y, then also you will get the value of k. Okay, this is one application to find the ratio. Now we will see next question to understand it. Now next I have taken this question, first question of exercise based on section formula from NCERT 7.2 exercise. Find the coordinates of the point which divides the join of given points in the ratio 2:3. Now theory says that 2 points are given. As usual we will consider them to be AB. A is given as -1,7, B is given as 4,-3, and we need to find the point P which divides this in the ratio 2:3, and consider these are x, y. We need values of x and y now. Previously we were not given ratio. Now here we have given ratio, we need to find these coordinates. The same section formula is used whenever there is the case of division. 1 division, 2 divisions, 3 divisions, all we use section formula. Now using section formula we can write here x as m1x2 plus m2x1 upon m1 plus m2. Now before we apply all these things, we should determine that what is x1 x2 and what is x1 y1 and what is x2 y2 and m1 m2 also. So here we can that will actually guide you to put the correct values and nothing else. Here you can take this as x1 y1 or this as x2 y2, doesn't matter. So you can write aside x1 y1, this as x2 y2, this as m1 and m2. Now things become easier. Now we can say x, we need it. M1 it is 2, and as I said we need to apply the cross multiplication like situation. Then 2 will be multiplied to 4 plus m2 3 into it comes to crossing P, it comes to -1. So multiplied by -1 divided by the sum of m1 and m2 and 2 and 3. Now we simplify, we get x is equal to 4 to the 8 minus 3, 5 upon 3 plus 2, 5, it comes, it's 1. Value of x we have obtained as 1. Now we go for y. Okay, what is that? Y is equal to m1 y2 plus m2 y1 upon m1 plus m2. Taking the values, y remains as it is. M1 is 2 multiplied to the ordinate of second, it's minus 3 plus m2, 3 multiplied to y1, 7, and divided by 2 plus 3, we see it is y is equal to minus 6, 21, 15 upon 5, which is 3. This way, we get the required coordinates of P as 1, 3. So it has helped us to find the unknown coordinates. Now let's see more questions. Here I have taken one question. Again here we need to find the ratio, but bit different. Ratio we are told that it's done by y-axis. In what ratio does the y-axis divide the join of these 2 points? In first question, the ratio was unknown to us. We were given actually the coordinates of points. So we should know that in the concept, if one thing is unknown, rest of the things should be given to us. But here we are not given any point. We are told that 2 points, A 5, minus 6 and B as minus 1, minus 4, these are given. Okay. And division is being done, but not by a point. We are not told anything about this point P. We are given that this P is actually a point on y-axis. This line I have drawn to show y-axis. Okay. So this point P lies somewhere on y-axis. This point P divides AB. We don't know anything. Now to find the ratio, first of all, we'll consider, let's suppose the required ratio be k is to 1. Okay. And this we can take as x1, y1, x2, y2. In first example, you can see that to find wherever there is a question on a ratio, we need only one thing, either abscissa or ordinate of P. P is suppose x and y. We need only one of them, either x or y. No need to get both of them. So we will go back to the situation. We are told that the point lies on the y-axis. Now what is the nature of the points lying on y-axis? These are of the type 0, y. Because the abscissa on the y-axis becomes 0. Means we are given a point on y-axis. So for sure abscissa is 0. So we can take that using section formula. If I write here x equal to m1 x2 plus m2 x1 upon m1 plus m2. Why I am writing formula for x? As I see that we are told the value of x only. So this x can be taken as 0. m1 will be k. x2 minus 1 plus m2 is 1 and x1 is 5 upon m1 plus m2. So k plus 1. Now for sure k plus 1 here we have taken a value. If shifted left hand side, this is 0. So 0 when multiplied to this value will completely turn 0. So we get 0 equal to minus k plus 5. If I k shift to left hand side, I see k is equal to 5. Or we can say this is 5 is to 1. Means y-axis divides the join of these 2 points in the ratio 5 is to 1. Required ratio is obtained. So whenever you are not given this point P, its coordinates are not given. So for sure you will be given some information about it other way, like y is passing through that. So we have to think of that condition. Then only we can go ahead. So such questions are given on section formula. Now there is some concept in which section formula is used in modified form, means with advanced form. So we directly put the condition. So we will see those also. Let's see. Next. Very first application of section formula here we can see is midpoint formula. This I will explain. Suppose you are given A and B 2 points on a line segment. P which divides them, now it is the midpoint of AB line segment. Now whenever P is a midpoint, obviously P is a midpoint of AB means it bisects AB. So divides in equal parts. That's why ratio will be 1:1. Means the value of M1 upon M2 is taken as 1 upon 1, as they are equal parts now. AB upon PB you do, you will get cancelled and 1 upon 1. So always ratio is fixed 1:1 whenever it is midpoint P. Now if we are given x1, y1 as the coordinates of A, x2, y2 as coordinates of B, then applying the same section formula, I need x comma y, then x will be written as m1, this time m1 I have taken as 1 into x2 plus m2 1 into x1 upon m1 plus m2 means 1 plus 1. So finally we get x equal to x1 plus x2 upon 2. Next, if I take y, also this will be 1 into y2 and plus 1 into y1 upon 1 plus 1, and the same thing we get y is equal to y1 plus y2 upon 2. It makes it more convenient to apply. Whatever we are given midpoint formula, no need to take m1 m2, simply they are 1. So that's why we can find abscissa by the addition of these two abscissae and dividing the sum by 2, and the same we can do for the ordinate y. So this way it's known as midpoint formula. Other use. Second one is trisection. This was a case of bisection. Now second use, second application is trisection. In trisection, suppose we are given a line segment AD, and as for bisection we need 1 point. For trisection means to divide the line segment into 3 equal parts. Trisection means dividing the line segment into 3 equal parts. We need 2 points. Bisection we need 1 point. Trisection we need 2 points. So in this condition, if I consider A as x1, y1, B as x2, y2, and the coordinates of P and Q are taken, one I am taking as x comma y, other I am taking as alpha comma beta as symbols. Okay. Now we have to see the theory. Actually, application is easier in my opinion. First of all, how to use section formula? First of all, with respect to P, if I see the whole segment AB with respect to P, I find that 1 AB, PQ, QB, 1, 2, 3, all 3 parts are equal. P divides in such a way that one part lies in the left hand side of P and rest 2 parts which are equal, they lie on the right hand side of P. So with respect to this first point P, we say that segment is divided in the ratio 1:2. Means in left hand side 1 and right hand side 2 parts lie. And with respect to Q, you see 2 parts as lie here in the left hand side and 1 part lies in the right hand side. So Q divides in the ratio 2:1. Okay. So in this way we apply trisection. What does it mean? Means we will write the coordinates of P x y. X will be written as m1 x2 means 1 into x2 plus m2 x1 means 2 into x1 upon m1 plus m2 means 1 plus 2. So here x will be obtained as 2x1 plus x2 upon 3. Similarly, if I think for y, so y this is equal to 1 into y2 plus 2 into y1 upon 1 plus 2, and finally we get y is equal to 2y1 plus y2 upon 3. Points which are important here. You can see the denominator is 3. In general, in section formula we are in denominator sum of m1 m2. Midpoint formula we are getting 2 because of 1:1. Here, because of ratio 1:2, the sum becomes 3. So in denominator we get. Also, when we are finding the ratio with respect to P, here 2 is multiplied to x1 and y1. Okay, this way you can understand. Now it's not over. We are going ahead. With respect to Q also we have to see. What is that? With respect to Q, as I said, it divides the line segment in 2:1. So how can we do? If I need alpha, the abscissa, then it should be 2 into x2 plus 1 into x1 upon their sum 2 plus 1, and we get alpha. This is equal to this time x1 plus 2x2 upon 3 and beta is 2 into y2 plus 1 into y1 upon 2 plus 1. So beta we get as y1 plus 2 y2 upon 3. Now what is the change? Denominator is 3. No problem. But here 2 is multiplied to the second part. You see here it was x1 and y1 both. Here we are multiplying 2 in each of x2 and y2. Okay, to get abscissa and ordinate of point Q. So this is the condition of trisection. When we will see examples, this is better understandable. We will see more applications of section formula. Now the third application of section formula is centroid formula. One of the very important concepts. Centroid formula. Before we apply, we must know what is centroid. It's a triangle, a point, which is the point of concurrence of all three medians. As we know that median is a line segment which joins a vertex of the triangle to the midpoint of the opposite side. So AD median means D is the midpoint of BC. BE is median, here E is midpoint of AC. And CF is median, is F is midpoint of AB. Okay, and this G shows that all the three lines are passing through the same point. They are intersecting, they are actually concurrent on G. So this point of concurrence G is known as centroid. This G we say to be centroid. Now we need to find its coordinates. If I consider the coordinates of G are x, y, then we need values of x and y in terms of the given coordinates of ABC. How we do? Let's start. This theory again, I say it's a derivation, but for knowledge. Okay. Let's start. D is midpoint of BC. Since the midpoint, so we can use midpoint formula, which was recently taught to you. So D directly we can write sum of x2 and x3, x2 plus x3 by 2, comma y2 plus y3 by 2. This we have done. Now we must know one thing, that centroid divides each median in the ratio 2:1. This thing again section formula. Centroid divides each median in the ratio 2:1. Consider when median starts from the vertex. Okay, this portion AG is to GD. AG is to GD. This is 2:1. Now we need, as I said, x and y. So if coordinates of G I write here x, y, then according to section formula, this x must be equal to m1 x2, means m1, if I consider 2 as m1 and m2 as 1, then m1 means 2 multiplied to the abscissa opposite side. So 2 into x2 plus x3 upon 2 plus this 1 multiplied to the abscissa that side. So 1 into x1 upon 2, the sum of 2 and 1. Okay, so these two cancelled out. We are left with x is equal to 1 into x1 as becomes x1, x2, x3 as it is after cancellation of 2, and 2 plus 1 we will write 3. X we have obtained the abscissa of centroid as x1 plus x2 plus x3 upon 3. Here we have seen it comes by the addition of all three abscissae and divided by 3. The same way if I do for y, you see that y, this will be obtained as 2 multiplied 2, the ordinate of D. Here I am applying section formula on AD line segment, okay, where G lies in between them. So here y can be obtained as 2 into y2 plus y3 upon 2 plus 1 into y1 upon 2 plus 1. These two cancelled out and we are left with y. This is equal to y1 plus y2 plus y3 upon 3. So this way we have both of abscissa and ordinate of point G, centroid. So this is known as centroid formula to obtain the coordinates of centroid using the vertices of the triangle. Okay, so this way we can use the centroid formula. Now we will think of the questions based on this concept. Let's see. Here I have taken first question based on trisection, and this is actually NCERT 7.2 question number 2. Find the coordinates of the points of trisection of the line segment joining the given points. In the concept, as I said, that when 2 points are given, namely A and B, their coordinates we can consider to be 4, -1 and -2, -3. We need points of trisection. So in concept I told you they will be 2 in number. One can be taken as P, other as Q. And according to the position, if I name them as X, Y, alpha, beta, then ratio done by P is 1:2, and ratio done by Q is 2:1. Okay, this rough sketching, drawing this roughly will help us to understand the situation and to apply the concept. So how can we do? We will use section formula only. Using section formula for P. If I do for P, I see that this X will be obtained as, we will write M1 X2 plus M2 X1 upon M1 plus M2. So here this X is equal to M1 with respect to this X is 1 multiplied to opposite side -2 plus M2 means 2 into, we multiply with X1 which is 4 upon M1 plus M2. So 1 plus 2 we get. So this will become X, 4 to the 8 minus 2, 6 upon 3, which gives us 2. Now similarly we can obtain Y as M1 Y2 plus M2 Y1 upon M1 plus M2. Now as I have it cleared in concept, so if you want to use that concept directly, then you do, doesn't matter. Okay, here we can use Y M1, 1 into Y2 is -3 plus M2, this is 2 into Y1 which is -1 upon 1 plus 2. So we get Y, this is equal to -3 -2 -5 upon 3. So coordinates of P means first point which will divide this segment is 2, -5 upon 3. Now we need to find coordinates of Q. So similarly we can take, only ratio is to change. Ratio will be now 2:1. So alpha will be obtained as 2 multiplied to -2 plus 1 multiplied to 4 upon sum of them. It comes -2 and 2, -4 plus 4, 0 upon 3. So finally we get 0. Okay, and beta, this is 2 multiplied to -3 here plus 1 multiplied to -1. Take care, we have to take the extremities and the points only. Their coordinates only we will consider. Don't get disturbed because of the presence of P here. So we get beta is equal to -6 and -1, -7 upon 3. So we get the coordinates of Q as 0, -7 upon 3. These two are the points required which trisect, divide the given segment in 3 equal parts. I hope you have understood. We will see more questions for understanding better. This I have taken a 6th question of 7.2 NCERT. It says that if these 4 are the vertices of a parallelogram taken in order, then find the values of x and y. You can see x is abscissa of this coordinates and ordinate y here has been taken for other point. Now first of all we will again take help of rough sketch. Here if I draw the parallelogram, we can name them ABCD. We need to take them in order. A comes 1 comma 2, B will be 4 comma y, C x comma 6 and D as 3 comma 5. Now we see we need this values of x and value of y. Here in the distance formula also we have seen the concept of parallelogram. Now in this case when we are talking about section formula and its other applications, here we are having one additional thing. What's that? Let's see. By property of parallel, consider this point as O, then it means O is midpoint of BD and also of AC. By a basic property of parallelogram, not only of parallelogram, all other types, rhombus, rectangle, square, we know that diagonals bisect each other. So this point will be taken as midpoint of diagonals, and obviously now on this concept we can apply midpoint formula. So what is that? Midpoint formula, if I consider the coordinates of O as alpha comma beta, then using midpoint formula, what we can do, this alpha with respect to, since O is a midpoint of BD, this first diagonal, in that case alpha this is equal to 3 plus 4 by 2, as it was x1 plus x2 upon 2, and beta this can be taken as 5 plus y upon 2, and simplifying alpha comes 7 upon 2 and beta is 5 plus y upon 2. Also O is a midpoint of AC, so that's why with respect to AC, if I apply midpoint formula, alpha will be taken as 1 plus x upon 2 and beta will be taken as 2 plus 6 upon 2. Solving, alpha comes 1 plus x upon 2 as it is and beta will be 4. Now what is the use here? I said that this O is midpoint not only of AC but of BD, but O is 1, that is the same point, no change. So that's why if no change, then the values of alpha obtained in first case and second case must be equal, and values of beta also must be equal. So that's why when we compare the values of alpha, first one we got 7 upon 2, second we got 1 plus x upon 2, therefore 7 upon 2 this is equal to 1 plus x upon 2. Solving, we get x equal to 6. Next, if I compare the values of beta obtained in both cases, so I see 5 plus y upon 2, this is equal to 4. We get 5 plus y is equal to 8 and y comes 3. So this way, x and y we have obtained as 6 and 3. So whenever there is a parallelogram or its type, rectangle, rhombus or square, these diagonals will bisect each other. So this point will be considered to be the midpoint, and this is the best option to apply midpoint formula. Okay, we'll see more examples. Here I have taken question number 7 of 7.2 to explain the application of midpoint formula. Find the coordinates of A if AB is the diameter of circle with center 2, -3 and B is given with its coordinates. Means in a situation when you are given a circle, AB is diameter, B is given to us 1, 4. Center also is defined here. If I take C as the center, it is 2, -3. A is the question mark. So obviously we consider this to be x, y. Now you see that in this case center is midpoint of diameter. So we can apply midpoint formula. Using midpoint formula, we can say that, what was that? It was, for this one we will write x1 plus x2 upon 2, and for the ordinate we write y1 plus y2 upon 2. Similarly, for this 2 we will write, what is xy? This x1 and x2 means we have taken this to be x, x2 is y, so we'll write here x plus y 1 upon 2. Solving we get 4 equal to x plus 1, so x comes 3. Similarly, if I apply the midpoint formula for this minus 3, so minus 3 must be equal to y plus 4 by 2. It comes minus 6 is equal to y plus 4, y is equal to minus 10. So finally, we get a as what coordinates? 3, minus 10. Okay. So wherever it is given about midpoint, we can apply midpoint formula. Now we will take one equation on centroid formula to get its application. Here, for example, consider two vertices of a triangle are 3, minus 5, minus 7, 4. If its centroid is 2, minus 1, then find a third vertex, like in a triangle. Now every time no need to draw the medians. A we consider the vertices like 3, minus 5, minus 7, 4 we consider for B. For C we can take some point like alpha, beta, and we are given centroid G as 2, minus 1. For centroid, if x, y are the coordinates, the x1 was taken as x1 plus x2 plus x3 upon 3, and y as y1 plus y2 plus y3 upon 3. Where these x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3 are the coordinates considered for these three vertices. If you want, you can take this to be x1, y1 or x3, y3 like that. Okay. So according to this theory, if I think of this x means this is the abscissa of centroid. It's given to us 2. Okay. So replacing it by centroid formula, we see x can be substituted by 2. x1 if I start from A, this is 3. y1 it's x2. x2 is minus 7 plus x3. So we will take alpha divided by 3. Need to simplify. It comes 6. 3 minus 7 minus 4 plus alpha. So we get alpha equal to 10. And if we go for y, value of y is minus 1 by comparison C. And again all the ordinates will be added, means minus 5 plus 4 plus beta upon 3 comes left hand side. So minus 3 minus 1 plus beta, and beta comes minus 2. So finally the coordinates of C we have obtained to be 10, minus 2. This is one application of centroid formula. More are there. Let's see that. I have taken this question to explain one concept. Actually, it's the application of centroid formula, but one additional thing will come to know. Here we are given DEF with the coordinates to be the midpoints of sides of a triangle. Consider if ABC is the triangle and DEF as we are given midpoints of the sides. Then we need to find the centroid of this triangle G. We have seen that centroid actually, if x, y is given, then to find centroid we need the coordinates of vertices. But here we are giving the coordinates of midpoints. Now let me tell you, this centroid by the same formula can be obtained using these vertices or midpoints of sides also. What I mean to say, if I consider G as x, y, the centroid I consider x, y, one point you can start with this one, x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3, which are the midpoints of sides, not the vertices. Still, this using centroid formula, what was that? X is equal to x1 plus x2 plus x3 upon 3. y is equal to y1 plus y2 plus y3 upon 3. So the same theory can be applied on these midpoints, means finding x, we'll have sum of all the abscissae, minus 1 upon 2 plus 7 plus 7 upon 2 divided by 3. So we'll find 7 by 2 minus 1 by 2 will be 6 by 2, 3 and 7, 10. So this comes 10 by 3. Similarly, y also can be obtained by addition of all the ordinates here, means 5 upon 2 plus 3 plus 7 upon 2 by 3. We get y as 7, 5, 12 by 2, 6 plus 3, 9 by 3. It comes 3. Means the coordinates of centroid here will be 10 by 3, comma 3. So this is the additional thing I have explained, that whenever we are given the midpoints of sides of triangle, that directly can be related to the centroid using the same formula. This much actually is the concept and few applications I have shown, but there is widespread use of these concepts. Okay, so still I did my best to explain all the aspects. I hope this much you have understood the basic theory about section formula. Thank you.